annual Latinos Unidos Luncheon. My name is Araceli Martinez Peña, co-chair of this year's luncheon, and we thank you all for joining us today as we create opportunities for scholarships together for Hispanic students in our community. To begin our event, please stand for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Jefferson High School Air Force Junior ROTC, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Crystal Camacho, a senior at Leonard High School, and the National Anthem performed by Victoria Rose Huerta, a sophomore at Academy of the Holy Names.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing for the invocation offered by the Mayor Hispanic Advisory Council's first scholarship recipient from the University of South Florida, graduate class of 2003, Jessica Iredale, a teacher at Magdalen Elementary School.
Please bow your heads. Dear God, as the Mayor Hispanic Advisory Council first recipient, I give you thanks for the work they do, for they believed in me when I needed them the most. Thank you for allowing me to pay it forward in the classroom every day. Thank you for everyone in this room, for their being here supports education. We thank you for the support of the sponsors whose contributions make scholarships possible, gifts that are passed on to talented students who without this support may forego an education simply because they cannot afford it. We thank you for the collective stories of success and challenges of those in this room, stories that remind us to never give up. And we thank you for living in the best country in the world, where dreams do come true, and generous people are glad to extend a hand to uplift others. We pray that you continue to bless us with these gifts we receive every day. In all the names that we call you, amen.
Good morning. My name is Patsy Sanchez. I'm the co-chair of this year's event, and I am a past chair of this council. In the interest of time, please begin your lunch. The council joins the City of Tampa in welcoming our new mayor, Mayor Jane Castor. Last week, she took her oath of office right here in this very room, full of supporters, friends, family, and this council. And today, we reaffirm our commitment to work with you, Madam Mayor, for the prosperity of our great city of Tampa and all its citizens. Will all the members of the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council please stand up to be recognized? The council began 36 years ago, has proudly served 5 mayors, all of whom were recognized at this event last year when we celebrated the 20th anniversary of Latinos Unidos. This luncheon has become a vital component of our work as we focus on showcasing the increasing influence and the economic impact of Latinos in our country through the achievements of our keynote speakers. And we also work on raising significant dollars that provide scholarships for local Latino students with financial need at the University of South Florida, at Hillsborough Community College, and the University of Tampa.
Our luncheon sponsors have played a critical role since the beginning, so we thank each and every one of you. Today, we'd like to recognize our student advocate sponsors. Representatives, please stand up when we call your name. The Bank of Tampa. The Tampa Bay Lightning Foundation. And our media sponsors, Maxima 92.5, Clear Channel Outdoor, Rumba 106.5, Tampa Bay Times and Centro, Univision y Unimas. Please stand. Everyone sitting here today has made an enormous contribution, and we want to thank all of our sponsors who've made 2019 one of the best years yet.
Each sponsor and each of you here today is helping us make college dreams possible for students like Josefina Plata Guzman, who spoke during this event last year and who last week graduated from USF with a degree in health sciences. Yeah, woo! Other students, like our very first student from 2003 graduate, Jessica Iredell, whom you just met. She was our first student, and she's giving back every day as a teacher at Magdalene Elementary. And then, of course, other students and graduates whose names are on your printed programs. The endowments that we have established at the 3 institutions have exceeded $500,000. Yes. And these dollars are at work. We have changed the trajectory of families whose children will not be the first ones in their families to go to college ever again. And we hope many high school and college students here can benefit from that. Today, we have with us many high school and college students, and it is thanks to the generosity of many sponsors, several sponsors who donated tables so that they could be here. Will all our students and our graduates please stand up so that we can see you? Stand up. Where are you? Students? There's many more of you. Okay, I see you back there.
We believe in making college dreams come true, and we know that you do too. We also know the cost of education is the #1 reason why students fail to enroll or complete a 4-year degree. Together, we can lessen that burden so that students in our backyard who aspire to attend UT, HCC, or USF have the funds to do so. In Hillsborough County, we have the 8th largest school district in the country. There are thousands of students who are currently working very hard at earning the grades and meeting all of the college entrance requirements. I'd like for you to meet one of them today. She's a junior at Leonard High School and a recent scholarship recipient to attend the National Hispanic Institute. Please welcome Alejandra Chavez.
Like many of you here, my parents come from the United States in pursuit of opportunities and a better life. My parents work hard to provide for our family while I focus on studying. While my parents do not know much about tuition, financial aids, and scholarship, I am learning all I can so that I can be the first one in my family to attend college. I still have 1 more year to go, but I ask you to take a moment now to make a gift that will add funds to the endowment such set by the council so that whenever I choose USF, UT, or HEC, I can pursue my dreams and attend college. I promise I won't let you down. Please take a moment to make a gift now using the pledge cards at your table. Muchas gracias.
You can make a difference, an additional difference today. We are going to have council members walking around. I hope that you help us to do what we did for Jessica and others, Josefina and so many others. Thank you, Alejandra, and university presidents. Are you ready for more Alejandras? There are many, many more where she came from. We are the 8th largest school district in the country. Recognizing that a small gift today plays great dividends tomorrow, I am also happy to share that your donation today, that you leave at the table, there are pledge cards, and I understand that there's not a place to put an amount. Please don't be shy, put an amount in there. I am happy to share that the Community Foundation of Tampa Bay has pledged to make a match for each donation that you make today. So I'd like to recognize the Community Foundation of Tampa Bay for that great gesture. All right, we thank the University of South Florida, the University of Tampa, and Hillsborough Community College, not only for the opportunities that each provide to students, but also for your partnership for the last 20 years. University presidents and special guests, when I call your name, please stand up so that we may recognize you. Joining us one more time before retiring in a few months, but not before bringing preeminence to the University of South Florida, my president, USF President Judy Genshaft. UT President Ron Vaughn. Representing HCC President Ken Atwaters, Susie Hawley. Ms. Aileen Rodriguez is joining us as this year's recipient of the Matilda Martinez Garcia Leadership Award. Mr. Anthony Perez, chair of this Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council. Our keynote speaker and chairman of MBF Healthcare Partners LP, Mike B. Fernandez. And also joining us as past keynote speaker, Mr. Alex Sanchez, CEO of the Florida Bankers Association. All elected officials that joined us today, please stand so that we may also recognize you. With that, I'd like to call Ileana so that she can make our presentation. Councilmember Ileana, so she can make our Matilda Garcia presentation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is with great honor that I get to present this next individual. This year, the council has elected Aileen Rodriguez as the 6th recipient of its Matilda Martinez Garcia Leadership Award. Professionally, Aileen is a public affairs executive with more than 20 years of experience leading public affairs and communication efforts for organizations in the areas of health, education, government, and tourism. Prior roles include working for Helios Education Foundation, the United States Senate, Moffitt Cancer Center, and Walt Disney World. Aileen's community contributions are exemplified by her work serving on boards. Presently, she is the president of Tampa Hispanic Heritage, Inc. She's also has been involved with the City of Tampa Human Rights Board, the Florida Public Relations Association, Hillsborough Community College Foundation, USF's Latin Community Advisory Committee, and the Hispanic Professional Women's Association, amongst others. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me bring to the podium Aileen Rodriguez.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's wonderful to see all of your beautiful faces smiling. I wanted to give a big thank you to the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council for this award. I'm very honored, I'm very humbled, I'm very surprised. I know some of the past honorees were quite amazing individuals in the community, so I'm thankful that I've been included in this group. I wanted to give a thank you to the leaders in the Hispanic community who nominated me. I'm very humbled. I wanted to thank each and every one of them. I would like to thank my family for their support. Without their support, I wouldn't be here. And I want to give a special thank you to my hardworking and dedicated board members at Tampa Hispanic Heritage for all you do. One last thing, and this is probably the most important thing that I would like to say. Many, 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 many years ago, we won't say how many, I was also a USF Latino Scholarship recipient, and that experience contributed to who I am today. I graduated, I went to HCC, I transferred to USF, I graduated, and I wouldn't be who I am today or where I am today without the opportunity that was given to me. So I encourage each of you to give to this amazing organization. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Aileen, on your contributions and your continued support of our community. Congrats again. Good afternoon, everybody. Bienvenidos. My name is Anthony Perez, and it is my pleasure and honor to serve as chair for the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council. We have proudly served Mayor Buckhorn for 8 years and have seen our city reach incredible growth. Confident that our next chapter will be just as prosperous, we have elected a new mayor, one that I look forward to serving proudly and that I have the pleasure to introduce to you today. If you please help me welcome our new mayor, Mayor Jane Castor.
Thank you, Anthony. It's quite an honor to be able to welcome everyone here today. As Patsy said earlier, it was just a week ago that I was sworn in here, so it's wonderful to have the first event back here be Latinos Unidos. So this luncheon is really wonderful from the aspect of the scholarships that are provided. I think a lot of you have heard my story that someone took a chance on me when I was a skinny 17-year-old. My family had no money for college, and I got the break of a lifetime getting a full scholarship to the University of Tampa. And it, like Aileen, it made the difference in my life. And I too would not be standing before you today had it not been the generosity of so many people that opened doors and helped me along the way. So I would encourage you, when you write those checks, those donations, put an extra 0 on the end of it, because you will be shaping someone's life moving forward. But welcome, everyone. So the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Committee, I am so glad to, that all of you are willing to work with me, because if you have heard any of my Spanish, you would know that my Latina roots don't run very deep. However, I do have a very strong Latina in our household who directs all activities there and has ensured that the Hispanic culture is passed on to our children. So it's clear that if not for Hispanics, we would not have the city of Tampa. You have played such an integral part in not only the creation of, but the lifting up of our city. And so we owe a debt of gratitude to all Hispanics, and to embrace the diversity that we have here in our city is critically important. And it really is what makes Tampa the greatest city in the nation. It's not just our diversity, it's the fact that we embrace it so well. So I thank each and every one of you for everything that you do, for the scholarship presentations, and to be able to see what your efforts have provided to our community, the future leaders. In essence, you are creating the future leaders of Tampa. And I encourage each of you, there's a lot of talk about today's generation and not a lot of hope expressed. And I would encourage everyone to have a conversation with some of these scholarship winners, some of the young high school students, to realize that we are in great shape here in Tampa, and we are lifting up the future leaders of our community. So thank you all again for attending today. And now, as mayor, I have a proclamation. And I won't read all of this because I don't want to put everybody into a coma. There's a lot of whereases and therefores, but I'm going to read a few paragraphs of it because it's very important. Whereas, established in 1983, the City of Tampa's Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council is a group of dedicated Hispanic individuals who are appointed by the mayor to serve as a liaison between city government and the Hispanic community, and are a forum for those who need the voice to voice their concerns to community leaders and city officials. And they accomplish their goals and objectives through programs, projects, and activities. And whereas an annual City of Tampa Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council event, Latinos Unidos Luncheon, showcases the growing presence and economic impact of Latinos in our city, state, and nation, and celebrates enhancements Hispanics have made to our way of life in science, technology, government, business, education, the arts, and in so many other important areas, and proceeds from the event have assisted Hispanic students in financial need over the years through scholarship endowments totaling over $1 million. And whereas the late Matilda Martinez Gonzalez, Maddie as we all know her, what a force she was the charter member of the City of Tampa Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council, who had served since its founding in 1983, and the organization established the Matilda Martinez Garcia Leadership Award in honor of her over 3 decades of dedication, and is awarded to an individual who has made extraordinary contributions to the Hispanic community and the people of Tampa. And I couldn't imagine a more deserving awardee than Aileen Rodriguez. And now the bottom, this will be the first time I've read this. Now, therefore, I, Jane Castor, by virtue of authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Tampa, Florida, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May 8th, 2019 as Latinos Unidos Day. Thank you and congratulations. Want to take a picture? Before I am gone completely, it is also my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. And I think that everyone is going to be amazed by his story. Miguel Mike B. Fernandez, as I said, currently is the chairman of the MBF Healthcare Partners. He has opened a number of businesses, which is very commendable. He had one here in Tampa that he apparently sold, so he and I are in conversations of the next business that he's going to open here. He's not allowed to go back to Coral Gables until he promises to come back to Tampa. But he has an incredible story of coming from Cuba at 11 years old with his family, and his story is the American dream. So it is my honor to introduce Mike Fernandez.
I like this whereas thing. So I feel like I should keep going. Whereas I, Mike Fernandez, an immigrant that came to America. Whereas I landed in the best country that any nation could afford. Whereas I would not be here without the guidance from my parents, my community. Thank you all for having me here today. Thank you. if you read anything about the program and my background, it talks about certain achievements that I have been blessed to do. And honestly, and those achievements would not have been possible had my parents taken me as a child anywhere else but to the United States. Those achievements have been primarily in the business sector and in the area of philanthropy. But it can be very misleading if you believe everything that you read. And I'll share with you what is never written about me. I consider myself mediocre at most things that I do. I'm just tenacious about it. But I don't excel at many things. When I was in high school, I was a C student at best. So for those students that are out there that you doubt your future, you question your abilities, don't allow anyone to define who you will be someday. Only you can do that. I went to college one semester, and then I left never to go back. So I did not graduate from college. Most of you here, possibly all of you, are better formally educated than I am. Well, I was in the Army. I was promoted 3 times. I was demoted twice. I crashed my first car the first day that I bought it. Thank God it was a used car. Because of an immigrant mentality where I had to provide, I gave all my all to my career, and it cost me 2 marriages. It was not until the 3rd one that I got it right, and I've been married now for 21 years with 5 wonderful children. I have failed at starting 27 companies. And I have said I have failed because not one of them turned out to be the day that it was sold what I thought it was going to be the day that I started it. No one really remembers your failures. They remember your success. Only we remember what we failed at. And at times we work very hard at forgetting about our failures when we should not. It is deep in each of those failures that we find ourselves and the strength that we have. It is those failures that will define who you are. Those shortcomings who will give you a backbone to face the next battle. And luckily, we all live in a country that encourages each of us every time we fall to stand up again, as long as we have the courage to stand up. We don't lose until we quit. Quitting should never be in someone's vocabulary. Although I talked to you about my C student grades, which nothing to be proud of. My parents all thought I was an A student. But although I was a C student, I was able to provide scholarships. And today, I provide more scholarships to that Catholic school in New York City since 1847. I wasn't there at the time when it was started, than anyone else. Although I only won 1 semester to college, I have 3 doctorate degrees, honorary doctorate degrees, and 1 honorary master's degree. Although I failed in many things, I have found myself to be defined by the things to others that I succeeded at, not the things that actually made me who I am today. I started a company in Tampa back in 1993 after selling a company in Coral Gables, Florida. That company grew over the next 9 years from 0 employees to 630, I think it is, when we sold it to a Mary Group. And it is surprising that the billboard that you put up with my face in it around Tampa, I received over 24 calls from people that work with me at that company, including one who was the receptionist, and then I remember her going to finance, and she's now the president of a large HMO in the state of Florida. So there's hope, there's willingness to allow each of us to open the door and walk through if we have the courage to push our way through. Sometimes it's not easy, but be daring. Daring to do what others don't think you can do. You will be surprised at the satisfaction that you would get. While I was in the Army, I mentioned that I was one semester in college. Well, the reason I only lasted one semester is because I received a draft notice to go into the service. And to me, being an immigrant, draft notice to me was an obligation. I was being forced to do something. And I did not want to dishonor my father and my mother by being forced to serve my country. So instead, I volunteered. Instead of serving 2 years, I served 4. My biggest fear was heights, so I became a paratrooper. I am as much afraid of heights today as I was back then. But I was able to manage those fears. And that taught me how to manage businesses. Because risk is not gambling. Taking risk is about managing something. It's managing the downside. But if you're not taking risks to where you feel nervous about it, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Be daring. Take risk. Surprises come to all of us from the most unlikely places. Mine came at 1,250 feet out of a door of a C-130 aircraft. There was a guy named Jack Michelle. He was in my company, and he was about 6 people ahead of me, closer to the door than I was when I jumped. Except, since he jumped first, he should have been further down than I was. When I looked up and I saw Jack at the same level as I was, I thought I had a problem. I looked up and noticed my parachute was not open. Training is a wonderful thing if you let the trainers train you. I don't remember opening the reserve parachute. It opened around 200 to 300 feet from what I'm told. I landed, broke both ankles, and to this day I have 5 herniated discs. So the only exercise that I can really do is walk and swim. But at age 19, an incredibly beautiful thing happened to me. And I am so grateful because it's what got me here today. At age 19, I knew I was terminal. I knew I was going to die. And I knew that whatever plans I had that morning were almost ended at 3 o'clock that day. It changed my life. It allowed me to focus on some realities about myself. I have ADD in a big way, to the point that I've been married twice. But it allowed me to change the way I live that is very different from what they teach us in school. You're always taught in business, do a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. What is your 10-year plan? I have lived my whole life on a 7-day plan. I cannot focus beyond 7 days. Of the 27 companies that I started, 25 have succeeded and were sold for $3.8 billion. But not because I was smart. It was because I was persistent. And because I was surrounded by people that were smarter than I was. Today, we live in this community of Tampa, where I spent a wonderful 9.5 years. And as I flew over before landing at the airport, that's better than landing in the water, Mayor. It has grown tremendously. What a beautiful city you have. I know that there are incredible dreams out here, primarily from the young people that are here today from college and from high school. And I encourage you, don't allow anyone to define who you are. Dream bigger. You know, that touches a point that I want to go back to. So Speaker Weatherford and I have been friends for many years. And as a Cuban American, I don't know how it happened, but 21 years ago, I met Shimon Peres, the former president and statesman from Israel. So Will was invited to go to Israel and said to me, you know, Mike, next time you go, I'll tag along with you, just to see it from your perspective. So we land in Tel Aviv. We go directly to the Shimon Peres Peace Foundation building, and there is the former president, former statesman, former prime minister of Israel, and Will asked him a question. So we're sitting, the three of us, by ourselves, and he's sitting back on his chair, and Will says, Mr. President, do you have any regrets? He leaned back and said to Will, regrets? Yes, Mr. President. Do you have any regrets? Now, keep in mind that this man didn't graduate from high school, became the prime minister of a country twice, president, a world statesman, studied physics in his 30s to bring nuclear power from France into Israel, which today Israel still denies that they have. So this man who could be, there's nothing more I could thought that he would want to accomplish. And he looked back at Will and pulled himself forward on his chair and said, I should have dreamt bigger. Right, Will? I should have dreamt bigger. Don't cut yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. Dream bigger and fail. I dare you to fail, because that is where you will find your success. Thank you.
All right, it is my honor to provide you with the key to the city of Tampa. And what it opens is our arms and our heart. And we hope you will come back to Tampa on a regular basis. Thank you for an amazing speech, and we appreciate everything that you have done, not only from the business perspective, but for helping lift up other individuals. Thank you, and God bless.
If I may, Cubans like to talk. So if I may, I only met Patsy Sanchez about a week ago, and I've been to a lot of these events. I have never, ever, ever seen someone so focused and organized to get this done. Thank you, Patsy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fernandez, for sharing your inspirational story. It's stories like yours that remind us that anything is possible. And thank you all for joining us today. We wish and hope to see you next year.
Thank you. I just wanted to briefly say, this is not even on the script, but this is the mayor's first key of the city, so thank you very much for that. Mike, usually you have to dress up as a pirate and invade the city to get that, so very privileged. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next year.